Bitcoiners, we have power. Bitcoin is an idea, CBDCs are an idea, but those ideas of CBDCs give the power to governments and corporations. Countries, states, provinces, all those things can be separated by a river. They're just ideas, an idea that we believe in, people believe in, ideas that are enforced, but they are ideas nonetheless. Why does a river have to divide a state, or why does it have to divide a country? On this side of the river, it's country X. On this side of the river, it's country Y. And sometimes it can be hard to remember, but as people, we do have power. Take McDonald's, for example. Who has more power there? McDonald's, the corporation, or us, the people? Well, I guess we both have power to some extent. McDonald's has the reach of a multinational corporation with a large marketing budget and years of being in business, where the people are the ones spending the money there. If people just worldwide decided to not eat McDonald's anymore for 1 month, 2 months, how long could McDonald's go before they just cease to exist? People would start shorting their stock. They'd have no money coming in. And so it shows that we do have a lot of power. Is that possible? I don't know. The idea of not eating McDonald's would be an idea that would have to spread like wildfire. And I'm not saying that's the right idea. It's an example of McDonald's as this big, powerful corporation, but they wouldn't survive very long if everyone in the world decided to stop eating there. They'd be gone quickly. Now, circling back to Bitcoin, Bitcoin's an idea of property. Now, circling back to Bitcoin, Bitcoin is an idea of money, property, something we can own, that we can have self-custody of, that no one can block us or censor us from, and no one can take it from us. That's a powerful idea. And it's grown bigger and bigger to the point where it's possible that no one group can stop it. And we do have the power to self-custody our own Bitcoin. And the more Bitcoin is in self-custody, not your keys, not your crypto, the less Bitcoin that more powerful people can use to create more paper Bitcoin. And Bitcoin does seem to be growing stronger and stronger every day. Sometimes the price is going down, sometimes it's going up. But when you look at the level of adoption of corporations, countries, the city of Fort Worth mining it, those type of things that aren't swinging the price, but every day there's more and more news like that's coming out. Sometimes it doesn't make big headlines, and it's definitely not always swinging the price, but it's happening. And some of the things about the idea of Bitcoin alike is the fact that money that can't be inflated to infinity. And with inflation, the average person, the lower level of society, keep beaten down. They can't save money. It's harder to save money. The money you do save becomes worth less. Also, a lot of the debt that the government incurs is spent on things that I don't necessarily believe is in the best interest of the people all the time. Lots of wars are funded with debt throughout history, and different kings and Roman Empire, current, I guess we've spent about 22 trillion on the military since 1971. We have a $33 trillion debt. There's not an exact correlation there, but debt is one way they can fund whatever project they want with not necessarily raising the taxes. But at the end of the day, that weakens the dollar or whatever currency is around. And this morning I was thinking about the idea of what towns are called. Sometimes they're after a founder, some form of geography or something like that. And, towns rarely switch names. You have Leningrad, which is now St. Petersburg. They're rebranded away from Lenin. And then the capital of Kazakhstan, Astana, rebranded to Nur Sultan or something after the guy that was president for a long time. I don't know. The more I thought about that at first, I was, thinking, oh, that's kind of stupid. You got to change all those road signs. That costs a lot of money. And obviously, changing from Leningrad to St. Petersburg is a bit different than changing Astana's name. But I was just thinking about little towns in the United States. Some towns are doing great. Some towns have a boom. They have some industry that was doing good in the 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, whatever. Now they're struggling. And one example is at the southernmost point of Illinois, where there's two rivers that kind of branch off, or the two rivers that come together, and you got Missouri, Illinois, and Kentucky. It's called Cairo, Illinois. It used to be kind of a booming in its heyday, Now I think there's only 1,000, couple thousand people that live there. Lots of dilapidated buildings. What if a town like that, and that might not necessarily be the right town, just that's what popped into my mind. I saw a guy driving through there looking at some cool old buildings that have fallen out of, being upkept, and there's still some people living there. But what if a town like that rebranded to Bitcoin City, and it could be something else. I'm just thinking towns that are struggling, have they ever just thought rebranding their whole town? Now maybe with social media and stuff, something like that makes sense, and Fort Worth was mining Bitcoin just to try to make it seem like it was harboring more innovation. But say Cairo, Illinois just wants to, rebrand to Bitcoin City, and they're trying to make it so that there's just Bitcoin tourism and trying to bring in some innovation and some money and get some financing and do something cool. And now it's kind of a tourist spot that even people that aren't super Bitcoiners are kind of interested in checking it out. Maybe there's a Bitcoin museum, and they have some museum with the history of Bitcoin, and that could just be one little small building. And I'm not saying that's the right thing to do. I think a town that did rebrand to Bitcoin City or rebranded with Bitcoin having success long term could see some success. Maybe El Salvador, if Bitcoin succeeds long term, El Salvador should reap the rewards of that. So I don't know, just started thinking about ideas today. Let me know what you think about all these ideas we have in life. Ideas, rules, structures, ideas of religion, marriage, money, ideas of what a country is. We all agree that this is a country, and there's some places where we agree that, we can't agree that that is what country it is. Say like Taiwan. China believes that's just part of them, and other people think that Taiwan's its own independent country. So there are some areas where not the whole world agrees on the idea of one country, and even the borders. China's got a different idea of what their borders are versus India and things like that. So it's interesting what ideas that the group agree on and what ones they don't. And I think that there's a time where people can push their ideas farther than they can think. I can see some small town in the United States, wherever, rebranding anything. But I'm kind of focused on Bitcoin right now, so I'm thinking that if someone rebranded that, it'd be interesting to see what would happen if they did. So that's my 2 cents. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.